back to Games Embassy with Ambassadors of Gaming. I am one in your army of hosts, Ambassador Jason.
And I actually said and. Wow, that's a fun
See?
one.
It's not as
Okay.
easy as you think.
Okay.
The mighty tables have turned. Do you want him?
Whatever.
Do you want to
I'm
just?
Ambassador Chris.
I was gonna say, and I'm Ambassador Michael. I'll just cut out all the BS in between there.
Doesn't know the BS gets us views. Just go with it.
It could stay. All right, continue, Jason. Now that we've derailed you.
And welcome. And welcome to our corner of the internet where we have news about stuff. Chris, how are you doing today?
Before I screwed the pooch in that intro, I was doing just fine.
And you were worried about other people. Should have mind your own.
It's not your turn to talk, Mike.
I'm doing well. I'm here, and I'm on this show, and we're going to talk about video games. I don't think life gets much better than that for me.
There are better things. Well, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave that alone because that's not the kind of show that we do. But before we get into that, I just realized okay. Before we do that, I'm going to take us over to our Patreon plug. We do have a nice little Patreon page where you can get some cool perks and goodies, like early access to the show, getting your comments, questions, and concerns read on the show, and exclusive content. If you'd like to support the show and get those awesome goodies that were just said, you can do so over there at Patreon/Ambassadors of Gaming.
Let's get into the updates, announcements, and other miscellaneous news.
Boy. So this is some enjoyable news for me. A huge Bandai fan over here. So Bandai has got a couple of different announcements for you all. They announced Blue Protocol, a new action RPG coming to PC. The project is developed by Project Sky Blue. Some developers from Bandai Namco Online and Bandai Namco Studios are comprised of that studio that are working on the game. Qualities of the game include online with multiplayer, so, as we've seen, co-op online. And then it uses Unreal Engine 4. Obviously, we've seen that work out quite well for a lot of people. In news that really only hypes me and probably
I was going to say, as soon as I read about this like a day ago, and as soon as I read this, I was like, I'm not going to hear the end of this from freaking
I have been begging. It was my pinned tweet. Bring Digimon to Switch, you cowards. Do it. And now it's happened. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition is coming to Nintendo Switch and PC. The package will include both Cyber Sleuth and its sequel, Hacker's Memory. The games were announced to be coming to the system in one package on October 18th this year. And the games are up for pre-order on Switch for $49.99, which is a good deal because they both launched at $60 on PS4. Digimon Survive? No, it's really not.
That really isn't bad. I thought I must have misread. I must have read a clickbaity thing. I thought it said that a new game was coming, but this is just Cyber Sleuth and the sequel. I mean, I'm not complaining about that. I mean, the Switch has been an awesome home for games that have already come out.
Right. I really think it'll hit there pretty well. It sold better actually on PlayStation Vita than it did on PS4. These games. So,
really?
The portability is a pretty big factor.
Well, holy crap!
So I'm interested to see how that kind of works out for them. I'm excited. The new game I think you actually might be referring to also popped up in the news this week. Digimon Survive was the first game to be announced for Switch from the Digimon franchise, and it has been delayed until 2020. During a recent panel at Anime Expo 2019 at the Future of Digimon panel, the announcement of the delay was made. The game is being pushed to an unspecified time in 2020. So, I'm sad.
Are you going to cry?
No.
That's fine, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited for the game, but there's so many games coming out. There's just so many games coming out. That's perfectly fine. I'd rather it be delayed and better than rushed and poopy.
And I think, I could be wrong, Hacker's Memory came out in January or February last year. Not last year, but 2018, yeah. 2018. And so it came out in a time where there really wasn't much. And it worked out pretty well for them, I think. So I hope it launches around that time. But anyways, yes, lots of Digimon on Switch, and my prayers have been answered. So
Digimon is good. Definitely like it. Remedy Games ends up buying back its Alan Wake IP. The studio announced that it has acquired the IP back and will still be focusing on creating Control.
What? Who did they give up the Alan Wake IP to?
Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft owned it.
Yeah, Microsoft
right.
Studios.
So it was just second party, or did they have a first party studio working on it?
No, Remedy is independent. They also made Quantum Break, but Microsoft owns Alan Wake and I believe Quantum Break, the IPs. They do not own Remedy. Yeah. So I don't know. People are excited. People really like Alan Wake.
And that means we can probably get a port to
maybe
or PS4
please,
or PC.
Please. I've never played Alan Wake, but any popular games that are on console that I hear everyone all like getting super pumped up about that get moved to the Switch, I usually end up giving a try, which means that I will do that. Moving on from there, Shenmue 3 PC backers will be able to get a refund if they don't want the game on the Epic Game Store. The Kickstarter game was originally slated for release on Steam and will still release on Steam, but after a notice that the game is taking a timed exclusivity deal to launch on the Epic Game Store. The developer said due to the publishing deal, they cannot just give out Steam keys to backers. Epic, this is the funny thing, Epic is paying to refund the backers who want refunds for their investment into the game and the last minute change. One more little thing, they did say that for future contracts with Epic, if we see like on a Kickstarter or something where people are pre-ordering for Steam or are backing for Steam key and all of a sudden it gets changed, they're working now that they will provide the Steam keys to those original people who requested them, even though it's exclusive to Epic for future games, not this one. But
who
for
said
future
that? The
games,
publisher?
The publisher, or Tim Sweeney, I believe, put out a tweet saying that for future,
from Epic. Okay.
Yeah, when a game gets moved exclusively to Epic for its first year, if there are backers who set out to play it on Steam that backed it, they will honor those keys and then just won't sell the other keys on Steam until a year later. Which I thought was, I guess, something nice, because the way that what they did with Shenmue 3 was absolutely awful.
Yeah, it was really terrible. They've screwed their backers hard.
I don't really see the issue with this, though. It's not like we're saying they're taking the game from PC and moving it straight to PS4 for like the first year and then comes out on PC. Like this is the one thing I don't understand about PC gaming is people getting upset about what which store it launches on.
Normally I would agree with you because we all play consoles. We're used to exclusives coming out on one console before another. We're used to it. The only reason that I think that this particular case is a big deal is because in artwork and in it has a Steam page, and in the artwork that they have on the what was it released on, or not? What was their backing program
Kickstarter.
They used?
Kickstarter.
It was Kickstarter. Yeah, on the Kickstarter page they have Steam. Like they throw the word Steam around. It's very clear that anyone reading this is going to think that the PC release is coming to Steam.
Right.
Because they say you need a Steam launcher at a certain update to do it. And then out of the blue, they randomly go, oh yeah, by the way, all those people who pre-ordered and were promised Steam keys, sorry, like we're going to Epic. And normally I would say if they weren't promised these things, I'd say, well, deal with it. If you want to play it that bad, go to Epic. But when you're seriously being told that you're going to get it on a certain platform, and then just out of the blue, the backer says, oh yeah, by the way, we're not doing that.
Right. Well,
I guess
we've seen that.
That's when I think it bugs me.
But
if I may,
it's not like they have to spend additional
money. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, please.
Well,
no, what I'm just referring to is like they don't have to spend additional money. They just literally just the Epic.
I do agree with you on there. But it's just, it'd be like because, for example, I mean, if I was promised a game on Xbox, if all my friends play games on Xbox, and I'm used to playing Xbox, and then out of the blue, they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, we're actually bringing this game to PlayStation. I mean, yeah, I may have a PlayStation, but that doesn't mean that I wanted it on PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? If
Right.
if you are very clearly trying to let people know that this is coming to Steam and then change it, that's slimy. That's not good.
Right. Well, the comparison I was
Yeah.
sorry, Jason, I didn't mean to cut you off. The comparison I was gonna make
No, go
was
ahead. I was just-
Bloodstained. They canceled both the Wii U and the Vita version um of that game. And when they did, people were obviously upset because that's, certain people backed for that reason. They wanted it on Vita, they wanted it on the Wii U for some reason. But at least in that case, they were like, okay, well, we're sorry that this has happened, but we're going to give you a key for whatever system you want it on. So at least they like made it up that way. But yeah, I agree. It's not still the direct comparison between you're still getting on PC technically, but you did promise them, hey, like this is what we were gonna do,
Yeah. My particular favorite thing about this story though was the fact that there were people who backed it so they'd get a physical edition with a Steam disc, and they were still offered the box and everything for it, but instead of getting a disc, you get an Epic key in an empty box.
I would be so upset.
Oh, didn't know that? Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Right. Go ahead and Mike, go ahead and take us to the next update, so we don't dwell too long on this.
So Sony
Console Master Race.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'll allow none of that here in the Game Has Embassy. He'll be reprimanded later. Sony in a unprecedented move, or an unlikely move, has taken PES, Pro Evolution Soccer, from the PlayStation Plus lineup. In case you are unaware, originally that was the game that was supposed to be slated for July. Sony removed the game from its PlayStation Plus lineup and has replaced it with the deluxe version of Detroit Become Human, which includes Heavy Rain. Sony stated that they apologized for any inconvenience to the lineup change, and Konami has also stated that they did not have any part in the decision. So this is like a weird thing. It just like they announced it, and then like 2 days later, they were just like, nope, changed our mind. So, I don't know. It's weird.
Sorry, not sorry, bros.
I guess. I don't know. So people complained about it, and then they changed it, and then they complained again. So, you can never win.
Yep. CD Projekt Red is currently working on 3 different projects. A representative from CD Projekt Red spoke with PC Gamer saying that they are working on 3 different items. They currently have 5 teams. Team 1 has 3 of the teams are working on Cyberpunk 2077. Another team on Gwent, and then the final team is working on a unannounced mobile game.
Well, I just hope the mobile game is as successful as Diablo Immortal.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can't really make that joke because it hasn't come out yet. But oh my gosh, I cringe watching that announcement.
Although
it's awful.
They just announced. Well, they didn't just announce. Who's the developer doing that? The Chinese developer, NetEase. NetEase had a conference call, financial conference call, saying that their end of the programming and coding and everything was done as of March 1st.
For Diablo?
So technically the game supposedly has been done since March 1st, with no advertisement for any kind of launch anytime soon. They may be holding off until
probably.
BlizzCon.
I can see that.
Sounds about right.
Do one of those things like it's available now. Kind
of thing we pissed you off with last year. Get it now.
Yeah. One thing before we move on, one thing I want to say, we are confident that this is the correct version of the news. There was, but before we got to this point, there was some news going around from a faulty translation that said they had 3 different teams working on 3 different Cyberpunk games, which obviously was not correct. It was a translation error, and what they meant was they had 3 teams working on Cyberpunk 2077. But there are currently 5 teams, and they're working on 3 different things. So This is the correct news.
No fake news here.
Nice.
Only
no fake news here. No fake news here.
All right.
Donald
Go
Trump
ahead.
actually is a pro at Fortnite. But
I'm sure.
Dragon's Dogma Online is shutting. I'm trying to say the news. Stop talking. Dragon's Dogma Online is shutting down. The game originally launched on PS3 and PS4 in 2015. The MMO never left the Japanese market and is shutting down on December 5th, 2019, as Capcom thinks it has, quote, become difficult to continue offering a satisfactory service, end quote. The game is being pulled from the Japanese store on July 11th. So, rest in peace, Dragon's Dogma.
R.I.P. Didn't they just put out some version of Dragon's Dogma, like on Switch or something? Like Awakening, I think it's called, or something like that?
I'm actually not sure. Jason, do you know?
Just off the top of your head.
Okay,
that's fine.
sure.
I was just curious. I could have swore I saw
honest,
something about some Dragon's Dogma coming to Switch. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, I want to talk about Switch some more because this is, Switch the show. Nintendo Switch Online has surpassed 10 million subscribers, which is not really that surprising at all, especially now that we've gotten one Pokemon game, and I'm sure we have tons of people using the family option and stuff like that. So
yeah, I do remember
it's also
Mike and I reported a little while back that Nintendo actually wasn't happy with the sales of Nintendo Switch Online. For understandable reasons, there wasn't really enough to bring people in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like when we have PlayStation and Xbox, they give you a whole bunch of free games, and the service is generally really good. Just on online service, that is. You don't need to be living under a rock to know that Nintendo's online service, for one, just the functionality of it is not great.
Yeah, it's subpar.
If I'm being kind, it's subpar. The online games are only playable when they're in the storefront. Like you can't own them.
Are you talking about the online one or the Switch? The NES library. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't own them. They
correct.
If you stop paying for your online service, you no longer get access to those games. And I'm pretty sure they are interchangeable too. So a game might leave that storefront. Like they don't have anything that says that this game is going to stay here.
They don't specify, but they haven't done that yet.
They haven't done that yet. So it is nice, I guess, to see that they're trying to they have surpassed 10 million subscribers. I'm sure, like you said, they have Smash now, playing online Smash. They have, with the Pokemon games coming out soon. Mario Kart. Yeah. Right. So,
there's tons of reasons to have it. It's just, here's the thing, like, you and I and a couple of other people that we're friends with all are on the same online pass. And so, like, if you're in the family plan, if you can do that, it's 100% justifiable. Yeah. It's less so if you're on your own, but still, it's what, 20 a year or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is for the family pack, though.
It's like 80, and you can get like 8 people on the plan. It's something like we're paying like less than $10 a year for the plan a piece. Yeah. And we don't even have like a full list of people on there yet. So
thanks, Mike.
Yes. You're welcome.
I don't think it's 80.
Is it? It might be like 60. I could be wrong. Anyways.
Those are fighting words. I'm looking it up.
No, because that sounds like
it's a fight. Hang on. We're making this happen.
Please look it up. Because you can have like 8 people.
It's $20. No, okay, no, sorry, that's individual. And then it's $35 for the family plan. I was gonna say 80.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of money.
I was way off.
It's only $15.
Mike, I think you need to sell the rights to the show to Jason now. I think that's how it works.
I got schooled.
That's like what was it with racing? It's a pink card or something, or pink slip.
Pink slip, yeah. I unfortunately don't have a pink slip for the LLC for investors of gaming.
Give him the pink slip, Mike. He earned it. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm yelling.
But and honestly, there's not much you need to do to make it better. Like add party chat.
No,
being able to chat with your friends without being in the same game or even in the same.
They
game
need to fix the infrastructure before they even add those features. Like they need to make a host system, because at the way it stands now, 3 people with good internet and one person with bad internet means the entire experience is bad internet.
Does it match the person with the poorest internet quality, or is it just so happens to be that the person with the poorest usually is host?
I have no idea.
I'm just curious.
I don't think they have dedicated servers.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Games,
I didn't think so. It's direct hosting or whatever, right?
Fortnite might. I think Fortnite runs on dedicated servers.
So Fortnite might run better on Switch. But I watched a video of someone who went and did that online co-op thing for Mario Maker, how you can have 4 people try and make it through a stage and see who gets done first.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awful.
I'm sure.
It was like, remember the experience we had in Smash, Mike? Do you remember when loading screens were happening when we were mid-air?
Yeah, it was unplayable. When we played on Wii U, it was unplayable.
That was what was happening in this Mario Maker for Switch. It was obnoxious. Yeah.
And it's the same with
Is it?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It's slightly better. It is, I will admit, it's slightly better.
But that doesn't say much.
Yeah. Not great. But Jason, go ahead and move us on. We've gotten into a conversation with Switch Online way too many times before.
The rabbit hole is deep.
So Fire Emblem Three Houses is huge. ZooVideo.com spoke with Genkai, and I'm gonna apologize ahead of time.
Yokota.
Watch a lot of this. They spoke to Genkai Yokota and Toshiyuki Kusakahara at Japan Expo. Kusakahara stated it took him 80 hours to complete one of the three games. This includes cinematics. Because I'm saying his name differently.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Kusakihara, I believe is his name.
Kusakihara thinks it would take about...
Kusakihara.
Yeah, Kusakihara thinks it's going to take about 200 hours to fully complete the 3 houses. So pretty much you're getting 3 amazing games in one, it seems like. That's a lot of time.
That's massive. I know you gentlemen are more on the physical side. I know, Jason, you don't mind buying games digitally. But I was looking at it, and I just can't justify buying Switch games physically anymore with the coupon system they have, those vouchers. It's too good of a deal to pass up. Like, I got like 4 Switch games I want to buy this year. I'm going to save like $40 just using the coupons. So I can't not do it. I just wanted to remind everybody, because I forgot about it until I went to go look at Mario Maker the other day and Fire Emblem. And I was like, wait, I could save $20? Awesome. So, in case you forget.
Yeah. That is great. Dan, I believe it to be part of the...
I believe so. I believe so. Right? That's...
Yes, that's one great benefit.
But that was something they just recently started, right? That was, the beginning of this year or something?
Yeah. End of May, I want to say. Middle of May, they started it.
Right, so pretty recently. And that's digital only, correct? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
They want that money directly in their pocket. So, anyways, Chris... No, I don't blame them at all. They're like, well, we could put GameStop out of business faster. Let's do that. So, anyways.
I totally put a hole in the bottom of my desk for where my mic was. So that's great. All right, let's go into some news now that I'm in a super chipper mood. Great. Wonderful. A DDoS hacker has been sentenced to jail time. If you're unaware, DDoS is basically a denial of service attack. It loads servers with a bunch of false traffic, making logging in, playing games basically impossible. It's basically equivalent of when everyone in the world gets a game and online it goes, or a digital game, everyone in the world, and then it goes live at midnight and everyone tries to log in.
Right, and it just
it's
crashes.
Like no one can get on. It crashes. Load times are impossible. It's like that. The hacker was behind the 2013 attacks on Dota 2 and League of Legends. He has been sentenced to 27 months in jail and to pay $95,000 to Daybreak Games. Good riddance.
Freaking money, dude.
Yeah, that's what you get for you don't mess with our games, man.
Right. I don't really have a problem with you getting jail time for this, because it is really a disruption of business. And a lot of the times when you see this stuff, it's because you can get them on like corporate espionage and stuff like that. Because you're really going in and messing with their stuff. And so like, I don't know if that's necessarily the correct classification. I think it should probably have its own classification because a lot of this stuff is just, people who think they're too smart for this shit getting away with it. 27 months is a lot of time in jail. I think he could have gotten up to 5 years. I could be wrong on that, but this is about 2 and 3 months, so it's not terrible, but still, that's a lot of jail time just for DDoSing something.
Definitely.
I don't want to go into the jail sentence time and all that, and the legality of all that. But I am glad
let's not muddy things up here.
Right, exactly. So, I am glad that they're taking a look at this kind of stuff and being like, this is a serious offense. Like you can't be doing this sort of stuff. So, I guess kudos for that.
Yep, I like it.
Me too. Mike, go ahead and take us on to our next piece of news.
Sure. This is the big one, I think, of this week. So, please allow me a moment while I go through all of this. It's quite meaty. Apparently, Microsoft is not abandoning. What is
Why'd
so
you
funny?
say it like that? This is quite meaty.
I don't know. That's what came to mind. Microsoft apparently is not abandoning the multiple system approach. Last month, we heard that Microsoft was abandoning its 2 Xbox strategy. Apparently, we have had it wrong this whole time. Previously, we had thought that there were 2 next-gen Xboxes, Xbox Scarlet, the Powerhouse, and Xbox Scarlet Lockhart, the streaming box. According to Brad Sams, this is not true. A reliable Microsoft insider, he has said the company was planning 2 versions of Scarlet and a streaming Xbox. I'm not quite sure where he got that from, but he's the one with sources. According to Sams, the streaming Xbox is still in the plan and will utilize Project xCloud. Sams goes on to say that it is a really low power, low latency device, comparing it to Stadia. He claims the details are murky, but that it has not been killed off. Sams has also gone on to say that Microsoft is looking to sell the console at a very low price point, apparently lower than $100 US. So
this is, I guess, well, first of all, yeah, I heard something similar to you. I thought that Lockhart was the lower end console
that was streaming. That's what we'd always heard, is that Lockhart was the streaming console and that Scarlet was the gonna be the Xbox, the normal Xbox. So I don't know.
Jason, did you hear anything different?
I'm hearing pretty much that they're gonna have a streaming box and their Scarlet box. I didn't know there was gonna be like a lower tier version of the console, like the Xbox One X. But it's if you think about it, Microsoft has a whole new game plan going into this new generation. They're focusing a lot more on services, and looking to practically, if you think about, if you go into the Microsoft stores, you can get approved for like monthly payments on an Xbox One X, and Xbox Live and all that all bundled together. They're looking to make money more monthly than large chunks at a time. I can see Microsoft, and this is me predicting, practically giving away systems in the near future, just to have those services tied to them, Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass. That's where they're making majority of their money, I believe, than actually selling these consoles. Controllers and services, I believe, is what they're going to be looking to go into in the future.
Right.
And I don't blame them. I mean, like, I would rather get $15 a month from a lot of people than just get a large, bulk of thousands of dollars from the consoles. Because you can just keep it going and not have to spend that much money. Because if you think about it, I'm not sure what the profit point is for the consoles, but back in, if you could look back in time, they usually lose a lot of money in the first couple of years when they launch a new console. Trying to get that good selling point. So I don't see this as being a bad thing. I think they're making a smart move here.
I agree.
Yeah, I do agree. Mike, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just taking a look because I wanted to confirm with what Jason said. He was referring to Xbox All Access. It doesn't look like that's still ongoing, but I knew what you were talking about. I just wanted to clarify for people. If you are indeed right, I'm definitely interested in finding that out again, because I thought that was an amazing deal. But I think he's right 100%. They're worried about getting you in the door. They want you to. Phil Spencer's on the record stated many times that they care more about you playing their games. They don't care where you play them. They just want you to play their games. And so that's a huge differential mindset from the start of this generation of we want everything you do to be on an Xbox. We don't want there to be any reason for you to ever have to leave the Xbox ecosystem. Now they're like, wherever. We don't care. We just want to make money by you playing our games. And, going forward, you have to remember that there's still a large portion of people that do not own an Xbox One. PS4 is outselling, from what we last know, Xbox One roughly 2-1. Last time I had heard, it's roughly about 90 million PS4s to about 31 million Xbox Ones. So there's a huge differential there. And so if, you go into next gen and somebody's like, maybe I'll swap over to Xbox because Game Pass sounds really good. They go over to Xbox Scarlet day one, they buy Game Pass Ultimate, and now they just have all of the Xbox One games. Day one. Backwards compatible. And they paid, what, $15 for it that day?
That is true, yeah.
It's very enticing.
They're trying to... He said in an interview he didn't care where people were playing as long as they were playing Xbox. He didn't care what console they were using, this or that. And with this whole keeping the one name, all of these games that we've been playing for the past, I don't know how many years, are now still all playable.
Right.
With this new console. So unlike with PlayStation 4, we all know that the PlayStation 4, that was one of its big things when it launched. People were like, well, there's not really much to play on it.
Right. That was the same kind of problem with the original Xbox One before they added backwards compatibility.
Right, Jason?
Yeah, when I bought mine, I was buying games just so I can use my
exactly.
console. Like, they weren't good games. I just wanted to play my new console.
Yep.
So
that was Mike's reasoning for getting
having that backwards compatibility.
That was Mike's reasoning for getting Destiny.
It was.
So my big thing is I want to know about this lower cost box, because it's very clearly going to be some sort of competition to Stadia. It's going to be that's what Project xCloud is. It's their streaming platform, and I'm super skeptical that Google can do it. So I'm even more skeptical that Microsoft can do it.
I think it can be done, but it needs to be done correctly. The way Stadia is presenting it, I don't think it's the right way. To pay a service fee and then buy the game and then not have crossplay, I don't think that's the way to go. If Microsoft doesn't charge an extra service fee and it's just wrapped in with all their other services, and then you have the ability to do it, and there's still crossplay,
right?
I think it'll be done correctly then.
Latency, though, it's just that's the only thing I'm worried about. But before I even talk about services and what one thing offers over another, I need to make sure that the game can be played properly first before I'm even worried about those services. Once I see that I can load up a game and not have incredible input lag, then I will worry about the services. But until I can actually hold it in hand and play it somewhere where it isn't on some Google stage where I'm sure they have the best internet that you can possibly find connected to it, then I will worry about it.
That's a fair point, I think.
That is very true.
I don't think there's any other point I really needed to make. No, I think. Stadia. I'm sorry. Stadia's price point with the subscription, that their justification for that is going to be, well, you do it when you play Xbox online and you do it when you play PlayStation online. It's the same concept. That's what they're probably going to go with.
Yeah, but they're capping you at your resolution. Yeah, you're paying a subscription for Xbox, but you're getting the highest resolution you can get per your device. You don't pay it, they're capping you at 1080, and that's if they can change that anytime they want. You can go 3 months down the road and they can go, you know what? We're gonna take the 1080 and put it to the Pro version, and they're gonna be capped at 720. And they can.
That's true. That's a point.
That I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
If they don't see enough sales of that Pro version, for the 4K, they'll simply go, all right, we're now offering 1080p for the Pro, and we're gonna let the free version get 720 for those people that really don't have that great of internet. But you get the best of internet and still only get 720 if you decide not to pay. On top of that, you're paying for a game $60, You don't pay for the
Right.
service fee, so now you just paid full price
Right.
for a game for $720.
Yeah. I didn't even
So
think
I'd be
of that.
very
That's a good
interested to
point.
see how that would
That's a
work.
very good point.
Just on the basis of legality, like I know we don't really get into it here, but like, you know, when you sign up, you have your whatever. What is it called? ELU. Yeah, and yeah, the terms of service, basically the end user
terms of
agreement.
service.
I'm very. You would have to read through there, unfortunately, and just have to see like if it says Google at any time may change whatever, you know. Which I'm sure there's a caveat in there for something like that, but you know, I'd be kind of mad. But we'll see.
It's very true.
I agree, but I think Jason, I think we're good. Why don't you go ahead and take us out, Jason?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for it. Try to check us out at least once a week, as you may like what you find. I'm Ambassador Jason,
And I am Ambassador
I'm
Michael.
Ambassador Chris.
And Jason either made his outro and cut out, or he didn't see it. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Mike, put a little funny end card. Put a little funny end card on the video saying
That's
that. I
fine.
think that'll get a kick out of some
No,
people.
that's fine.
That's funny. It's fine. It's fine. It's stuff that needs to be done with practice.
Honestly,